RTT Rippin The Topics. What do we have in store today for Rippin The Topics there, darling?
We got Carl Edwards on Amazon. Briscoe appeal.
Whoa, stop. Just that. That goes your reach up. Talk about it quickly. That's what Rippin The Topics means. Dumbass.
Okay.
Carl Edwards announced, or Amazon announced, today, Tuesday, March the 11th, 2025, that Carl Edwards will be an analyst on the prime portion of NASCAR's TV schedule this year, which is awesome. Huge news. I sent the screenshot to Riley like 5 minutes after I saw it. He said, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And he's excited for it. I'm excited for it as well. Cousin Carl is like the mystery man in NASCAR. He kind of just retired out of the blue. Didn't hear from him for a while. Then he's kind of gotten back into the sport recently the past couple of years. He's at the NASCAR, I think it was the 75th anniversary throwback race at Darlington 2023 where we saw him again. Then he kind of came back to Kansas last year in the playoffs for a race, which is cool. So he's so slow. Of course, he got nominated for NASCAR Hall of Fame. He got into the Hall of Fame this past January. So Carl's been able to ease his way back into the sport, and now he's going to be an analyst for the 5 races on Prime this year, which is awesome. He's going to be great. I remember him back in the day of the Xfinity Series when they were on ESPN. He would be a guest analyst, a guest driver to call play-by-plays, to be in the ESPN's version of the Hollywood Hotel, which he killed it. He was awesome when he wasn't racing in the Xfinity Series back in the day, but he was great at that. So I think he's gonna do great things in the booth, or not in the booth. He's not gonna be in the booth, but he's gonna be a great analyst. During stage breaks and cautions, to throw it to him and for him to talk about the race and what he's seeing. He's going to be great in it, and I can't wait to see Carl Edwards back at the track and hear his voice during a NASCAR race. So that's going to be awesome to see. And, I know you know Carl Edwards.
Yeah, he was around when I was growing up.
Did you like him?
Sure.
He's a backflip boy.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, he's a backflip boy.
I liked him because he did the backflips.
And he was buff. Still is.
And
pretty good.
I also did sports that included backflips, so I liked him.
What car did he drive back then?
Not a clue. Don't remember.
99.
Yeah, sure. My dad liked him. I mean, he wasn't like a big fan of him, but he liked him. That's all I remember.
Good insight.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait for Carl. Can't wait to see him.
Next up is the Briscoe appeal.
Yeah, this happened very shortly after me and Riley shot the podcast last week. Briscoe and JGR got their penalty reversed. Remember, Briscoe got a L2 penalty, which included a 100-point penalty in driver points. I think a $100,000 fine for Joe Gibbs, and I think the crew chief, James Small, was going to be suspended for like a couple weeks. However, all that changed because the appeals panel was in favor of the 19 team and JGR and Briscoe. So he got that penalty reversed. He gets all his 100 points back. He gets all the penalty money. Don't have to pay that anymore. They determined that it was a single source part that caused the what they got penalized for was the
Spoiler.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look at me, know
for
my
Daytona.
stuff.
Yeah, my brain's just completely fucked right now. I apologize. Determined it was the manufacturer supplier's fault, not the team trying to manipulate it and help the car go faster and try to get away with it. So This is a big surprise. I didn't think they would win it, but they did. This is the first time really we've seen a team win an appeal like this. I know Hendrick kind of won their appeal a couple years ago with the Hood Louvers at Phoenix, but they still got some penalties for that. Still, I think they still got some fines for it, I believe. And then they had the greenhouse effect with the 24 and the 48 a couple races later, which Hendrick did not appeal because they thought they were pushing their luck if they would have appealed that one too. So it's the first time a team seemed like they've gotten off the hook scot-free with the penalty that NASCAR assessed, which I guess is good. Don't like it that it's JGR and Toyota that got away with it, which has a lot of people wondering about the legitimacy of, how one of the two golden children of NASCAR, Joe Gibbs, and then the other one would be Rick Hendrick. They've seemed to get the benefit of the doubt on some of these penalties the past couple of years. Of course, they would get away with this. And that's a fair argument, fair assessment, until we see something otherwise. See other teams win appeals in the Cup Series that are not Joe Gibbs and Rick Hendrick. And until that happens, that point can be legitimate. So it's huge for Briscoe, though. It gives him a chance to not have to win in your end. Because me and Riley talked about it last week in the points. Like, he was still like negative. He had less points than me and you. He was negative 30-something points after 3 races. And he had a decent run at COTA a couple weeks ago. It just, you dig into a 100-point hole to start the season, it's just really hard to dig yourself out and try to make it back in on points, especially how tight the field is these days. So it's a huge win for Briscoe. He doesn't have to win a race to make the playoffs anymore. He can just kind of points race and be consistent. And finishes like he had this weekend at Phoenix, where he did not run well, did not qualify well, got involved in a wreck. If he still has that penalty, it's like, man, 4 races in, and he probably is already in must-win territory, because you have one more bad race, and it don't matter how good you do. If you don't win a race, you're not making the playoffs. You're not digging yourself out of that hole. So big win for them, and we'll see if he can take advantage of it.
Cool. Next on Ripping the Topics is that supposed to say Cindric?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you spelled it wrong. You all right over there? Cindric penalty. Or, as you said, centric penalty.
Whoops. Well, I think I tried to spell it, and phone's like, that wasn't spelled right. So then I just auto-corrected, and it was that.
Sure. Excuses.
Yeah, so Austin Cindric, me and Riley talked about it last week on the podcast. If Cindric should be suspended, we both said yes. Shouldn't matter the speeds. If you right hook a guy, you right hook a guy. If you don't know, Austin Cindric right hooked Ty Dillon down the front stretch at COTA last weekend into lap 3, going into lap 4, I believe. NASCAR didn't do anything during the race, and they were people skeptical if they were going to do anything, because normally you see something like that during a race, NASCAR will do something. But maybe they're going to wait till the middle of the week to throw out a haymaker, drop the hammer and say, hey, right hook's a right hook. You're penalized. You're suspended for Phoenix this weekend. Me and Riley were both very skeptical and didn't think it would happen, and it didn't. Austin Cindric was fined, however, I think $50,000 and 50 driver points, which is the big killer there, but was not suspended. And Kevin Harvick said it really good on his podcast. I'd encourage you to listen to his. Not over this one, but listen to that part where he just like, NASCAR missed the gun. They dropped the ball on this one. He said it on NASCAR race day, Sunday, before the race. It's like he did not like the call. A right hook's a right hook. If you want to put safety in first mind and the first thing on the totem pole when it comes to taking care of your drivers, is it don't matter if you're going 10 miles an hour or 210 miles an hour. A right hook's a right hook. Don't matter what track. Don't matter how fast you're going. If you intentionally spin somebody out like that and hook them into, which Ty Dillon did come across and hit a wall. It wasn't hard and it was very soft, but he did hit a wall and into traffic, into oncoming traffic. It should be a suspension. We've seen it with Bubba Wallace. We've seen it with Chase Elliott. And they didn't do it because it was a slower. I think NASCAR said it was a lower speed corner, and a caution was not thrown. Well, motherfucker, y'all could have thrown the caution at Coda and against the road course, but Ty Dillon was stuck on that front stretch with damage to his front for a good while before he finally got going again. So if NASCAR throws a caution there, do you suspend them? I still don't think they do because they just didn't see the egregious nature, the dangerous speed of somebody getting turned right and slamming into a wall. So they just said, whatever. We'll just drop 50 points on them and say it's, try to teach them a lesson that way. No, you teach Austin Cindric a lesson. You teach all these guys a lesson by suspending that man. Say right hooks are not allowed, accepted, no matter what track you are on. You could be in the parking lot at the damn Ingles grocery store. If you're racing there and you right hook somebody, you will get suspended. And NASCAR dropped the ball and didn't do it. So I did not agree with the call. The 50 points thing, it's huge. It does hurt Cindric because he had a great start to the year. Almost won the 500, almost won Atlanta, but had a bad day at Coda, and he had a decent day at Phoenix. He used the option tires to his advantage. Got some stage points, I think. See, he talking about this is making me sick. Oh, it's hot in here.
No, I think you're just talking a lot.
I gotta carry the show. What if I ask you? Yeah, what do you think? Austin Cindric's penalty was right?
What penalty?
Exactly. I gotta talk to my damn lungs. Stop working. But no, I did not agree with the call in NASCAR. I think missed an opportunity to say we're not putting up with this type of shit anymore. And they didn't because it didn't look bad, pretty much, and it didn't bring out a caution. And that's just, again, NASCAR being inconsistent. I'm not surprised, but doesn't mean I have to like it. So, yeah, I didn't agree with the call, and like a lot of other people didn't. Shouldn't matter how it looks or how fast you're going. Right hook's the right hook. That's chicken shit. That's Bush League. I'm not talking about the beer. I'm not talking about the beer.
You done yet?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm not done coughing. You can go ahead. This is a good time to do it while I'm coughing.
Then it's going to be crickets. The next topic on Ripping the Topics is Auto Club update.
Yeah, there ain't really no update for you. They don't still know what the fuck they want to do with the track. And, I was trying to be glass half empty, glass half full with this shit. They announced in 2020. Sound like I'm about to cry. I'm very emotional when it comes to this.
It's okay.
Auto Club was my favorite 2-mile track. Really track bigger than a mile and a half. It was better. I liked it better than Michigan by far, which is like its sister track. I liked it better than Pocono. Indianapolis may be a little different because it's such a unique track. My second favorite track over a mile and a half that isn't Daytona or Talladega. So my second favorite big track like that. It's always put on some great racing, especially in the later days when the track really got worn out and stuff. But anyways, I thought I had optimism for them making this. I didn't want them to make it a short track, but I got it, understood it when they decided. So I think it was 2020 when they said, "Hey, we're going to make Auto Club into a short track." It's like, okay, whatever. I like the 2-mile track, but I guess I get it. And then we went on and heard that they sold a whole bunch of land around the track, and we're like, what the fuck? If you're making a short track, I guess you don't need that much land, but you'd like to keep most of that land for camping, parking, amenities. You're going to put some stuff up there. 'Cause I thought one day it would ultimately could be a good spot to host the championship race or the championship finale if it goes. Hopefully, it goes back to rounds or just doesn't go to a one race championship anymore after the end of this year. But we just kept on hearing crickets, and then the spokesman at I think Los Angeles Times article or something said, "Yeah, we still don't know what to do with the track. We want to, still try to figure out what to do, but we just don't know what to do yet." Motherfucker, it's been 5 years since y'all announced that y'all were going to make this into a short track. 2 years ago, you hosted your last race. Over 2 years ago, at the 2 mile configuration. We're saying, okay, maybe 2020 won't be 2024, but 2025, maybe 2026. At the earliest, 2025 will be the earliest. 2026 probably. 2027 definitely will probably have a race at this short track. 5 years later, half a decade, and they still don't know what the hell they want to do. They got a whole bunch of industry buildings around the track now. I'm afraid it's going to be Kentucky. I've given up hope. I hope I'm wrong, but I think they're just going to eventually sell out the whole track to rich people in California, which there's plenty of it, and it's just going to become dormant. The track will be torn down completely, and Auto Club's Speedway will no longer exist. And I hate it because, like I said, it's one of my favorite tracks growing up, bigger tracks anyway. And for them to kind of just play with the pickle this whole time, it's it's frustrating because I really thought they knew what they were doing when they announced this 5 years ago, and they clearly did not. And I think most people have lost hope, and it sucks because it was a good track, a lot of good moments there, and unfortunately, I think they're all but done, and there will be no more moments from Auto Club Speedway.